$2 trillion. That is the amount of wealth that can vanish in a matter of hours during a major market crash. Red numbers flash across screens worldwide as portfolios bleed out. The richest people on Earth watch billions evaporate from their net worth in a single afternoon. But here is the terrifying question no one wants to answer. Where did the cash actually go? Did a group of hedge funds siphon it away? Did it fly into an offshore bank account? Figuring out the answer to that question separates the people who lose their life savings from the people who build immense wealth out of the rubble. Let's look at a physical asset to see how value actually works. Say you buy $1 million house or a highly sought-after rare collectible card. You hold it in your hand and think you own a fixed amount of money. The next day, someone discovers a warehouse packed with thousands of the exact same pristine cards. The market is flooded. The highest offer anyone will do you is now $10. You just took a massive hit. But did $990 physically fly out of your wallet? Did it magically materialize in the bank account of the warehouse owner? No, that money didn't go anywhere because it was never actually there in the first place. Your asset was only ever worth the exact amount someone else was willing to pay for it at that specific moment. But if a market drop is mostly a paper loss based on changing opinions, why do massive hedge funds collapse? Why do billionaires sweat when the market crashes? It happens because we mistake price for actual cash, and that blind spot is exactly what causes investors to make fatal mistakes when the real economic panic starts. Think of a stock market not as a giant vault holding piles of cash, but as an ongoing ledger. A stock's current price is simply the final agreement between one buyer and one seller. This visualization shows the math behind the illusion. If a company issues 1 million shares and the very last transaction on the open market happened at $100, the system calculates the company's worth at $100 million. But what happens when bad news breaks? The buyers step back. The next person in line refuses to pay $100, offering $80 instead. A nervous seller accepts the offer. Instantly, the formula recalculates. The company's total value becomes $80 million. $20 million turns red and disappears from the ledger. Keep in mind, $20 million in physical cash was not drained from the company's bank accounts. It wasn't withdrawn by the buyers. That massive drop was caused by a single transaction between two people. Market valuation is a high-stakes game of musical chairs, played entirely with human perception and driven by fear. When investors open their brokerage apps and see double-digit drops, it triggers a severe stress response. It feels identical to walking into your home and realizing someone robbed you. Staring at that glowing red screen, the overwhelming instinct is to stop the bleeding. You hit the sell button, willing to take whatever cash is left just to escape the pain. That instinct is a trap. Selling into a panic is the exact moment an imaginary paper loss transforms into a permanent, real-world cash loss. Because every time you dump a stock at a massive discount, the shares don't disappear into a void. There is someone on the other end of that transaction, happily buying your assets for pennies on the dollar. Your financial loss literally becomes their future gain. Wealth is never destroyed during a market crash. It simply transfers from the panicked to the patient. While the public is panic selling their portfolios, institutional investors and smart money are waiting quietly on the sidelines. They hold large reserves of cash, watching the prices drop until the fear peaks. The clearest example of this dynamic played out when the global banking system collapsed in 2008. The S&P 500 dropped 57%, and everyday workers saw their retirement accounts decimated. But Warren Buffett was doing the exact opposite. While the rest of the market was terrified, he was writing massive checks, scooping up billions of dollars in Goldman Sachs and other corporate giants at historic discounts. We saw the exact same mechanism trigger in March 2020. Stocks plunged 34% in a matter of weeks. The smart money stepped in and bought companies like Apple and Amazon at absolute fire sale prices. The money shed by fearful, panicked sellers provided the exact inventory the wealthy needed to multiply their fortunes. The stock market acts as a voting machine in the short term, tallying up popularity and panic. But in the long term, it acts as a weighing machine, rewarding actual corporate value. To survive the next major drop, you need a system. Stop checking your portfolio every hour. Keep cash ready during market highs, and buy quality companies when everyone else is sprinting for the exits. Make no mistake, the market will inevitably crash again. When it does, you will have to choose whether you lock in a loss or position yourself on the winning side of the transfer. What is your biggest fear about the next major market downturn? Let me know in the comments below. The financial world operates entirely differently than we are taught in school. Hit subscribe so you can learn exactly how the system works, and I'll see you in the next one.